So this is a very budget-friendly guitar, and I think with 2 quick upgrades, we can make this thing giggable. This is a GTL 200 by a company called Guyker. If you've never heard of that company, that's fine. They're kind of new to the guitar game. This thing caught my eye at first because it had a lot of features, and it was $96 new. And then when Prime Day came around, it went down to $77. I had to just pick it up then just to see what it was like. So I picked this up for $77 new. Came with a case and a bunch of stuff, but none of that stuff is great. Very entry-level stuff. If you want to see my full video on this guitar, I'll have it linked below. And while this guitar does have some weak points, it definitely has some strengths too. Best part about this guitar is actually the electronics. The pickups actually sound really good. P90 in the neck, humbucker in the bridge, split coil in the humbucker, but it's a solid feeling guitar. It's semi-hollow, P90, humbucker, split coil. That's a lot for $77. And the pickups sound good. Who would have known? The neck is definitely more orange than yellow. It is finished. Not a fan of the headstock shape, but I mean, we can work with that. Now, the weak points for this guitar, in my opinion, are gonna be the saddles and the tuners. The strings are garbage too, but you should change the strings anyway. So I think if we just swap out the tuners and the saddles for something nicer, this thing will be ready to go. And honestly, once those mods are made, this will be a nicer guitar than I took on stage for years, which is pretty wild to think about what kind of guitars I took on stage. So my friends at Guyker wanted to do another collab, and then I told them about this guitar project. So they hooked us up to get this thing stage worthy. They sent over some locking tuners and some saddles. What we're gonna do in this video, we're gonna take the strings off, take the saddles off, take the tuners off, swap those parts out with some brand new Guyker parts, and we'll see how this thing plays after that. It's already in a pretty good spot. I think those 2 things will take this to the next level. So I'm ready to do it. Let's change the camera angle and get into it. First thing we need to do is get rid of the strings. Strings are off. Let's start with the saddles. Let me show you why I'm gonna replace the saddles real quick, because I could be totally wrong about this issue. I might have to shim the neck down in order to get these saddles down. But let's zoom in real quick. When I was adjusting these saddles, I really just didn't feel like I had a good connection between the screw and the saddle. I don't know if the threads are wonky on the screw or the threads are wonky on the saddle. I just feel like they weren't very secure. They're wobbly, they give a little bit, and they're maxed out at their height. That might be a neck issue, but we're gonna replace the saddles because that's an easy fix anyway. I think the saddles were $6 or $7. So we're gonna see if that fixes the issue, and if not, we'll do something with the neck. To remove the saddle, we just have to take the screw out the back of the bridge and then replace it. So we'll take this one screw out, whole saddle comes out after that, and we're just gonna replace them all. And this is a fixed bridge guitar. If your guitar has a different bridge system, this part might be different, but I'm sure it's very similar. So there you go. There are your 3 parts. So I'm gonna do the rest of these and then I'll check back in. All the saddles are out. Let's get the new ones in. So to get these new saddles in, we're just gonna do the opposite. Just gotta remember the spring goes on the inside. Screw through the back, spring over it once you get it through the bridge, and then attach it. So there you go. And we're floating right now because the screws aren't all the way down, but we're gonna get the rest of these installed and then we'll check back in. All right, so those are all on. This guitar is dusty. 2 things I want to point out at this point. Number 1, I think I ordered the wrong color. So if it doesn't match, it's on me because I'm pretty sure I ordered the wrong one. Doesn't bother me, but I do want to point that out. The other thing is, if you plan on doing this swap, you will need to re-intonate your guitar because all of these saddles need to be at a certain spot in order for the guitar to be in tune up and down the neck. So look it up. If you don't want to do that, don't replace your saddles, or order the saddles, take it to a shop, and let the shop swap them and then re-intonate your guitar. Anyways, saddles are in. Let's go to the tuners. So now here we are at the tuners. I might replace these string trees with rolling trees, but that's not what we're doing right now. We're gonna take off these tuners. So we'll flip the guitar over. Nothing too crazy here. We just gotta remove the screws and then they pop out. When we're putting the new ones on though, you need to make sure you have these 2 in the right spot, because you can see the 4 in the middle are different than the 2 on the ends. 2 on the ends end up holding everything in place. You just got to make sure you got the right ones in the right place. There you go, and then it just pops out. And if we flip it back over, there's this little thing that I don't think I'm going to take out. I think I'm going to leave it in. So I'm going to remove the rest, and then I'll check back when we want to put in the new tuners. 2 days later, we're back. I'm a busy man. Just super busy here, but we got all the tuners off. Let's get the new ones on. New tuners. All right, so you remember when I said you got to line these up right? Well, the 2 tuners with the little ends have to go on the ends, and then the rest of them fit in the middle. So we're just gonna start from the top, line it up, checking the holes now. Actually, this one lines up at the bottom one better. Let's see. This one line up at the top. All right, cool. We're learning as we go. These ones are different heights. So if you're getting this specific type of tuner, if you want them to drop in and fill in and fit with the holes that are already there, make sure you get the right ones on the ends. There's a longer one and a shorter one. The more you know. We're learning. I want to say the rest of these are the same. Yeah, tuners go to the top. Boom. That. All right. Those just dropped in. Let's see if they screw in well. Now, the part that goes on the other side of the head comes with it as well, but I am just keeping the ones on there because I don't feel like ripping those out just for this. We're going to start from the top. There you go. If I weren't making a video about this, this would take like 5 minutes maybe. But since I'm being high maintenance and making a video, it's taking a while. So there's what that looks like with the tuners installed. Here's the front. Nothing special on this side. So let's get this thing stringed up and see how we're doing. I'm going to show you real quick how I'm going to string up this locking tuner. We're going to be doing the A string here. This one, the A string, I already did the E string. We're going to feed it through the bridge like normal. And actually, I should have done this first. We're going to line the hole up with the nut. So we're going straight through. Now I'm going to loosen the locking mechanism on the bottom. So there's a pin that goes through the bottom to the top, and that's how your string locks into place. That's the locking part of a locking tuner, is that it locks the string into place. Some people still do turns on their tuners. I don't do that. I don't see an issue with it. So we're going to loosen the bolt on the bottom, opening up the pin in the middle, and then we just feed it straight through. I'm just going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to tighten it back up on the bottom. Just finger tight. And we're locked into place. And then you just tune. And I'm actually going to get all the strings on before I start tuning, but that's how you do it. And you just repeat for the rest of them. Well, it's been the weekend now, and I messed up. I like this guitar too much now. I was planning on giving this thing away or selling it or something, but man, the saddles and the tuners really just give it new life. I finished putting the tuners on Friday, and then I went home and I was still thinking about the guitar. Just kind of like how cool it was, nice it felt. I don't know, it's weird. And I've got too many guitars, so I really am trying to get rid of guitars, but now I really like this one. So I have to rethink which guitars I'm giving away now. First world problems. So the saddles did the job I wanted it to. There's a lot more thread to grab onto with these saddles compared to the other ones. That gives it the flexibility I need without having to adjust the heel side of the neck. They're solid, they fixed the problem. I don't have to sand down the neck now. Glad that worked out how I wanted. As far as the tuners go, they're great. They look nice, feel nice, they turn nice. And I love the Guyker locking tuners on my Strat. Now I've got them on this Telly, living the dream. Well, the tone knob works. It feels like a brand new guitar. Way better. New strings, new tuners, new saddles. We're good to go. So we took this $77 guitar, $30 in tuners, $7 in saddles, and I would gig with this thing every day. Oh, these Guyker parts are a huge upgrade to what we had here, which is like the bottom of the barrel, cheap guitar parts. Thank you to Guyker for sending those out, making this guitar awesome. Seriously, I'm pumped. Now they just made it that much harder to get rid of this thing. So I'm happy with it. I think that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you to Guyker again for sponsoring this video, sending out the parts to get this thing gig ready. If you have any questions about the locking tuners or the saddles, feel free to leave a comment, and any other feedback you got for me, leave a comment. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.